average is not invited. Not if you're holding your company off-site in Las Vegas. We aren't on friendly terms with the bare minimum, and unenthusiastic is uninvited. Las Vegas's creative energy and world-class hospitality want to bring your company off-site to crazy new heights. That's why fear-based leadership is afraid of Vegas, and boring won't be there, but it will be watching the meeting recordings later. Plan for the extraordinary at vegasmeansbusiness.com.
Welcome back, folks. It's episode 145. We're talking about manual checks today. And before I get into it, like always, what's up, Walt?
I'm good. I'm going through a fun implementation, parallels and stuff like that. But man, still grateful to be here, to be with you, to have everything that I have, man. So just on that same energy, bro. Just trying to get it. Look, I have my down days too,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're only human, right?
Yeah, but how about you? How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, thank goodness. I still hear a slight echo in the background. We got to figure out. It's less than before, but we'll see. But you made me think of a couple of things when you said you do an implementation. One, I thought about Anita Latink. She just updated her book, How to Pick Your Next Payroll. She has this version 2 now. What it made me think of is in that book, she points out a really good point about payroll professionals and how often. So let me ask you, how often do you think payroll professionals get to implement a new system?
Well, how often do I think?
Yeah.
Like during their career?
Yes, during their career.
I could only go back based off of my experience. And if I think about the 24 plus years that I've been doing it, I would say I've only done it in my career about 3 or 4 times.
So that's a lot. So she says the average is like maybe 1 or 2.
Wow.
Because if you're at one place for a long time, I guess it'll change depending on how many times you jump around. Yeah. But if you're at one place for a long time, you're not going to go through systems much, right? You're not going to change. It's a big undertaking. It costs money. So the chances of one company doing it for the time you're there are slim. Maybe you do it once, right? I think we just came up kind of in an era where folks started to job hop more. It became more the regular to stay somewhere, I don't know, 2 to 4 years instead of, where our parents stood at jobs 10, 15, 20 years, you know what I mean? Sure, I got a sister-in-law that has been at her job for like 37 years or something crazy. Yeah. No. Nope, it's not the norm anymore. So I thought, when you said you're doing implementation, I'm like, well, you know what? It is a blessing. You're getting to do something that not a lot of payroll pros get to do, and definitely not often.
Yeah.
And
I think, look, every implementation could possibly be different, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. And that's the beauty of it, correct? Because you're really sharpening the pencil, the sword, however you want to call it. You're really getting your skills up. And I could tell on the show because the things that you've gotten more granular with some of the examples and this, like it's pulling from a different place, being that you're doing it. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. So what do we got today, man? We talk a little bit about our financial fitness challenge.
Yeah. How's that
Anything
going
new?
For you? Honestly, look, I think I'm just gonna be transparent, like kind of, just getting back into it and then doing it, and then kind of fell off a little bit with the spending. Like, remember how I said eating out and stuff like that? So just being transparent, just like being busy with so much to do, and then just like, I neither one of us feel like cooking here, and then like, whatever, and then we're just like, oh, let's just order something really quick, and I just fall back into that trap.
Yep. Well, it's only a trap, remember, if you're buying groceries and you're right, because then so it'd be interesting, and I don't know, maybe you can take it as a takeaway, like, or if you've already done it, how if you didn't buy as many groceries, like what's the grocery bill versus the eating out bill?
Yeah.
On a month to month, you know what I mean? Like, how does that compare?
Well, when you put it like that, like we bought less groceries.
So that's good. So you are
We've just been
saving, yeah.
we've just been
Because as
like so
expensive
busy.
as groceries are today, you might be
hmm
saving money by eating out.
We do the buy one get one free mostly every
See?
time, bro.
Wow,
Every
look at that.
time.
That's crazy. So even that is a nice little savings hack, fitness challenge hack. You know what I mean?
hmm
There was something that I wanted to that I just didn't make a note of it, but there was something I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this.
hmm
Um, because what it's making me think of is things that I'm already doing. I've already tried to, because again, right? I don't gotta wait for the new year type of thing to change
Yeah.
habits. It's like, hey, if I'm thinking of changing a habit, I change the habit or try to at least, because you see, as we see, we're human. It takes time. What did you say? It takes
Yeah.
like 20 days or something for it to become
21 days.
21 days before it like a solid habit and things like that.
hmm
So, all we could do is just keep trying to be intentional about it.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I was just talking to a friend earlier and it was like, he's like, where does the money go? And where is it? And I'm like, well, if you're
Yeah.
not intentional about tracking it,
Yeah.
you're not going to know where it goes.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yeah, I still haven't done my look back yet. I'm still in I usually do it in preparation to filing taxes, so I still have
Yeah.
time, kind of, but I do want to get ahead of it. Um, and I thought, oh, you got something here for news.
Yeah. Well, it's not really news, just just a couple of stats or
Oh, all
whatever,
right, shoot, yeah, come on, share,
the national
share
debt
with the class.
and then the national debt and then payroll taxes, right? So I wanted to know how much the U.S. national debt is, and as of February this year, the U.S. national debt is a little over $36 trillion, and so
Oof.
that includes debt held by the public, federal trust funds, and other government accounts. And the U.S. has the largest external debt in the world.
So wait, I didn't know that. You said debt held by the public. What does that mean? Like our debt is counted in
Yeah,
the U.S.
like that.
debt?
I believe so. Yes.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
hmm National
Um,
debt.
wow.
Yeah, and then I was looking up payroll taxes, during the implementation, and just wanted to just throw a quick stat out there. So,
Hmm.
payroll taxes contribute to, we know this, federal revenues, which help pay down U.S. debt, but
Yeah.
payroll taxes do not directly determine how much of the U.S. debt is owed. So, in 2023, payroll taxes made up 35% of all federal revenues. So that's not a lot, right? We say our taxes do pay for some stuff, but it said that our taxes only made up 35% of all federal revenues. So the 65%, the government is getting it through other means.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. Oh, that's good stuff. I love the
yeah.
stats.
I like yours too. What you got?
This one is, so as we record, it's day after Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and it's usually the biggest call-in day of the year. So,
Wow.
although a record number of employees plan to miss work on Monday, we continue to see forward progress with managers and employees having more open conversations about taking the day off, swapping shifts, or making arrangements to come in late so that the business is covered. But
hmm
it's estimated 22.6 million U.S. workers will call in sick or come in late today.
You said
Um,
2.2?
22.6 million.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you call
Yep.
out today?
I am blessed to work from home on Mondays. So, and it's a payroll week for me. So
Oh yeah.
there's no, that's the funny thing too about payroll folks, right?
Yeah.
We often get used to like not being able to do certain things on certain days.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of par for the course. And,
Those blackout periods.
yeah, like we have a blackout period every other week, basically,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
What if I told you that your boss skydives, Tim in marketing is a magician, and Sam in accounting does sums in his head while standing on his hands? Seeing sides of the people you work with but never see, sides that inform and inspire their work and that can inspire yours, is what The Talent Show is all about. Email me, Tom Alexander, host of The Talent Show, at talentshow@backboneinc.com and show us what you got. I look forward to seeing you on The Talent Show.
And
So let me ask
go
you
ahead.
then, like, do you think that people will benefit more from the Super Bowl being a little earlier
Oh my
in
God,
the
put it
day?
on Saturday.
Oh, yeah,
Do Saturday
yeah,
afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Six.
yeah,
You could even do it the same time on Saturday,
yeah.
and then it's a big part. Then you can have a party. Like,
Because you can recoup on
oh my
Sunday.
goodness, that party's going till 4 in the morning. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Especially if it's your team that wins, forget about it. Those parties are
yeah,
going all night. Like, I
yeah.
don't understand how it has to, like, it's silly. It needs to change.
Hey, maybe you
Um,
should submit that idea.
yeah.
Roger
We'll,
the
we'll
good
we'll
day.
tag NFL in this clips. Speaking of which, and I meant to post it yesterday, like on my Facebook and whatnot, but no shade to Saquon and Jalen Hurts, but it is literally the Philadelphia offensive line is literally the biggest offensive line ever.
Yeah, yeah.
Tall,
They
height,
were.
and weight.
Yeah, yeah. They were
They
doing some comparisons during the game on how
Yeah,
much more they weighed than when the NFL first started.
in history, the biggest O line. Now, if you know football, your offensive line is the key to your quarterback
Success.
success and
Running
running
back.
back
Yeah.
success. So no wonder, because I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is good, but like his O line makes him that much better. Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley is absolutely benefiting from that O line. Broke
Yeah.
records, all kind of his.
Yeah.
So it's like, because as a Giant fan, I felt the way. I'm like, well, no wonder, of course. Like, and I kind of want to talk to Giant Nation about it. Like, yo, relax. Like, it's not the Giant. Like, unless the Giants had a great matching O line, he wasn't gonna
Yeah.
do as good there. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, it's, yes, they need to be skilled, but your O line creates those gaps for you.
Man, that's so good. Like, I'm trying to think about, as you're speaking, I'm trying to think about how to put that in terms of payroll, right? So if our offensive line is like our processes
Processing, I think, is yep.
and our different things that and policies that we have in place,
Yes.
for us in order for us to be able to do our job, because we can be talented payroll pros and HR
Yep.
pros,
Yep.
but if we have certain things and we don't have certain things in place, could make life a lot more difficult than it has to be.
Hmm. Yep. I think that payroll folks need to really remember it's not the it's not the end result. It's how
Mhm.
you get to that end result. It's how you're documenting,
Yeah.
how you're saving your files, how you're like, I want to say over say the word documenting, but like how you're recording your transactions, being organized, right? Like,
Mhm.
auditing is an annual, if not quarterly thing. And it's, what I like about, as much as my finance people drive me crazy, they make you better because it forces you to, like, record keep in a way that you can explain it to someone else, and someone who doesn't know payroll. They may know
Yeah.
numbers and they know accounting, but they don't get the payroll, nor are they privy to all the details and things like that. So you got to kind of, in generalities, and help them understand. So it's how you do those things
Yep.
that get you to the good payroll, because you could get lucky and have a good payroll, but if you don't remember how you got there and how you did that, then
Yeah.
so for me, I like, it's that checklist process. It's making sure that your checklist is good, comprehensive,
Mhm.
and you use it
Yep.
every single time you process, and not get overly confident, like, oh, I know my checklist by heart.
Yeah.
eh, you know and keeping room in that checklist for things that you learn payroll to payroll, because something could
Yeah.
come up in a payroll that you've never experienced, so now you got to add that to the checklist.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
What can go wrong will go
we'll go
wrong.
wrong, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that is it. Where are we at on time right now? Because I'm sure
Got to pay the bills.
yeah, gotta pay the bills. This doesn't have a time, like a clock. You see a running clock?
As you're setting ambitious goals for 2025, remember that a well organized team, that word again, organized,
Yep.
is the foundation for success. So in 2025, streamline your business operations with Trak Go. Their user friendly tracking software empowers you to get organized. So say goodbye to those messy spreadsheets and inaccurate time entries. Effortlessly track employee hours with their user friendly time clock. streamline time off requests and approvals with their intuitive system, and automate vacation and sick leave policies.
If you're ready to make that 2025 your most productive year yet, sign up for a free trial today at timetrackgo.com and experience the difference. In just minutes, you'll be on your way to increased productivity, reduced payroll errors, improved employee satisfaction,
Mm.
which is important, right? That's an important one, and more time to focus on what matters most. And especially for payroll pros, if your systems are set up good, employee self-service, you want these folks doing as much as they can on their own. So you need an intuitive system, right? And easy to use. I think that's what TimeTrack Go gets like critically acclaimed for, or touted for their ease of use. So don't let time tracking become a burden. Let TimeTrack Go simplify your life and let you achieve your goals in 2025. Would you say, well, the other day, thrive? We're going to thrive in 2025.
2025. Survive. Thrive
So,
or survive.
well, let's say thrive. I mean, look, if it's about a survive, hey, I've been there.
Everybody's situation is different this year.
That's right.
So.
I've been there. Me and wifey were just talking about that, like how when we were in survival mode. But anywho, visit timetrackgo.com to achieve your goals in 2025. That's www.timetrackgo.com. Timetrackgo.com. Let's go.
Let's go. Right.
To the
Let's get
Batmobile.
into it.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. Manual checks.
We're talking about manual checks, and Walt really put the main list together. So I'm going to feed off of his as well. But what I realized, I was like, well, wait a minute. What does manual checks mean, right? I'm sorry, I just need to make my screen bigger because I don't got my magnifying glasses on. My father was legally blind, y'all, so I got work with me now. So what is it? Well, I'm joking around. Jokingly, I say if you manual checks, don't do them. Not joking. Try to keep a strict policy of what becomes eligible. Like put it through. Try to put all the friction you can into doing manual checks, especially if you have a big team. You don't want them running willy-nilly, doing all what they want. They have to, submit a type of request or something like that, or
some type of process or SOP.
SOP, absolutely. So if you can avoid doing them, don't just avoid it.
Yeah.
But if you have to do it, a manual check is outside of the system. It's like avoid and reissue, where you got to void a check and reissue the check. It could be an update to an employee record only for the W-2, right? So you disperse the cash some other way, and you're doing a manual check to just record that transaction into their profile for your accumulators so that it goes onto the W-2 properly. It can be a live check or direct deposit, but it's processed outside of the system automations and all the bells and whistles and things that you have built into your system. It could be something outside of that where you're trying to just maybe doing manually calculating things and punching it in. And then some systems have functionality that make the process really easy. I got caught out there once on an interview, and they were like, well, how would you do a gross up? And I was like, I would use the system. Because a manual check, and some systems have the functionality to gross it up, right? And I'm sure there's a manual way to gross up, but I haven't had to do it in so long that I didn't know. I was like, I would have to look it up if I did it manually.
Hey, we're on this leveraging technology kick.
Yeah.
Leverage it. It's always good to know how to do things or have something in the manual, for you to look at and to be able to type it out or write it out or whatever you need to do. But leverage that technology.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get into some best practices and some stats and some challenges for manual checks. So I'm gonna get through it. So
This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
Accurate calculations, right? So using a manual check can ensure that all earnings and deductions and taxes are calculated properly, especially for, like you said, running people want to see how much the bonus will come out to be, and you can give them an accurate amount.
You can do
like
an estimate. You can use it for an estimate.
And you can do those adjustments and everything like that for outside of the standard payroll cycle. Those manual checks provide detailed documentation and allow you to keep a comprehensive record of the reasons for issuing manual checks. So let me say that again. So by you maintaining detailed documents and having even a log of manual checks that you track, that'll help you, stay in compliance and have those things available for tracking and auditing later. That's something that we do currently at my job now, is that we monitor those manual checks, and we use it for our KPIs monthly as well, for error tracking and stuff like that. Regular reconciliation, that's the best practice. Frequently reconcile those manual checks, and make sure that you haven't missed anything, so that you don't have any discrepancies. Train your staff, regularly train your staff on those manual check procedures to minimize those errors and ensure that you're compliant. Look, only a small percentage of payrolls are processed with manual checks, right? So it says about companies often process manual checks for around 1 or 2% of their total payroll transactions.
Yeah, I would say that should be about right.
So some of the challenges with doing manual checks, right? End of year reconciliation. So manual checks can complicate those year-end recons, and especially if they're not documented properly, or if there are discrepancies between the manual and automated records. So say you did a manual check and then you put in the wrong amount when you submitted a payment to that employee or something like that, right? Because sometimes we do manual checks to get a figure so we can do a payment some other way. And if you transpose something while you're typing it in, that could throw something off. So increased error risk. Enough said there. It could be time consuming depending on what you're doing. And manual checks. I remember there was a payroll where the live checks got delivered somewhere else or were lost, and we had to get those people paid like that day, and we couldn't do a wire, so we had to cut. We had to do like Wisely cards or payment cards that day, and we had to submit manual checks for the whole population. So it was like 50 some odd employees, right? And I know some of you have probably experienced that before too. So look, that can lead to delays and efficiencies, right? So that's it, man. That's all I really had. And I just want to get to the question of the day before we close this out. So in your opinion, Brian, do you think that manual checks will ever go away?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think
you don't think earned wage access will ever take the place of manual checks?
I mean, it would change how earned wage access changed. No, because I mean anything is possible. But yeah, for real. But no, I mean the way earned wage access works now, it still attaches itself to.
Hi there, I'm Peter Zollman. I'm a co-host of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast.
And I'm Stephen Rothberg, and I guess that makes me the other co-host.
Every other week, we're joined by guests from the world's leading job sites.
Together, we analyze news about general, niche, and aggregator job board and recruitment marketplaces sites.
Make sure you sign up and subscribe today.
it's still a part of your normal payroll schedule.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Now, if we start getting to a situation where, I mean, we can run off cycles now,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't run same day off cycles yet.
Yeah.
That is when manual checks can go away.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're not there yet. Like, I don't know, if we can run it. Yeah, we can. And I guess in some systems you probably can, but when you deal with the ADPs of the world, you're restricted to what you can do, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I agree with you, man. I think that there's always going to be some need, and it depends on the environment or the software that you have as a payroll provider or company or whatever it is, right? I think there's always going to be a need for those, right? Because you may have
Mhm.
an option to pay someone through a Wisely card or a payment card, and you do that manual check. So I think that as long as those options are available, there will always be a need for a manual check. If you
Yeah.
have to do an adjustment on a person's taxes, say, hey, we found out that this person actually is exempt. They qualify to be exempt from certain tax, and we tax them. So we have to give them a refund, and we have to do that through an adjustment, a manual check, or whatever it is,
Yep.
right? So, yep, I think there's always going to be a need for them.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. And yeah, agreed. I mean, payroll, the way we do payroll would have to change for that, for them
Okay.
to go away. Yeah,
All
good
right.
stuff, man.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. Thank you for
Thanks,
tuning
y'all.
in.
Yep.
Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.